You're listening to PlayStation Power. I'm George, and with me is Greg.
That's me.
Greg, if you were a street racer, what would your name be?
I'd probably always use Striker because Striker's a name I've used a lot over the years for various things, and it kind of sounds mean. So.
Especially a Need for Speed game.
Yes.
So you're nope. You gotta use something else. Apparently, that's already used.
It is.
No, that's fine. I mean, it is. It's already used in at least one Need for Speed game I've seen.
Oh, I actually do not have any. I actually do not have that familiarity with the series. So okay.
Yeah, I could have sworn somebody who goes by Striker. I don't fucking know. I go by. I don't know. I don't know what I would go by. That's an interesting thought. Maybe I'll just go by what I put in for Need for Speed Underground. Just be Chief.
Well, I use Striker like this game too, so okay.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Hey, look at that. So if you couldn't figure it out, if you didn't read the title, and if you couldn't figure it out by what we were talking about, we're covering Need for Speed Underground because I got a Need for Speed. It's a video game about racing cars illegally on the street. If you don't want to break the law, don't play this game. Anyway, so this game was released on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox on the same dates. North America, November 17, 2003, and the EU saw it November 21st, 2003. Windows saw a release in North America, November 17, 2003, and EU, November 28, 2003. I don't know what's going on over there, but step your game up. We got two different versions on the same fucking day. What happened to you guys? Huh? What happened? Did Bob trip over the power cord again and you had to report it? What happened? Anyway.
Seriously, I haven't looked into this. I wonder if the typical release date for Europe is just different over there compared to over here, because here in the States.
Well, the point is the console version was released on the 21st, and the Windows port was released on the 28th, whereas in North America, the console and the PC port were the same day.
Regulatory actions delaying release over there because they're more strict about that stuff, possibly? I mean...
They said, there's cars in this game, I don't know if we can release this. And then they said, oh, okay, we'll just release it. Anyway, it was also released for the Game Boy Advance. I'm just talking over you.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. What do you have to say?
No, I meant I was reacting to that, tying to that, because I'm like, I never knew GBA version of this got released. I'm like, the GBA? Really? The fuck's going on here? But...
I had the same reaction when I saw it come out around this time. So, yeah. Game Boy Advance, North America, December 17th, 2003. EU, January 16th, 2004.
But up to the game, online, it doesn't look that bad, actually.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. This was the era of Game Boy Advance games being really, well made for the time.
It's watered down some,
well made for, the original game being ported.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it still looks watered down. There's not as much content in that version, of course, but,
Of course not. It's a Game Boy cart.
Yeah, but for what it is, it's fine. It's perfectly...
Yeah. Have you played it?
No, I didn't. No,
okay.
I played it.
That would be interesting to look at.
No. Yeah, I remember seeing this game at a friend's house back when it came out on Windows, and thinking, it looked pretty good, but... Because like I said before, I don't have a lot of familiarity with the Need for Speed franchise. I like racing games, but Need for Speed's never a franchise. There's never a franchise I spent much time on. I played the first game in the series, and that was pretty much about it. I always went for more pseudo-realistic games like the Gran Turismo series, and whatnot. So,
right. The my experience with the Windows version is that I own it actually in a collection, but I have not played it. It is the Need for Speed Collectors series on PC.
Okay.
That comes with Underground, Underground 2, and Most Wanted, which is arguably the best Need for Speed. A lot of people would say I would agree with that. I don't know what I would rate the best Need for Speed game, but I would agree with those people.
Yeah, assuming that collection was designed for Windows XP, it should probably still run fine on a modern system.
Oh, it works fine on Windows 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The only problem is the resolution settings in OneNote are low because Obviously, they didn't do the thing where they.
Right, of course.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I can't talk about Underground or Underground 2, but I know Most Wanted, the resolution settings are garbage, which is really weird because there was an era of the old era of like late 90s PC games.
Oh god,
like,
we didn't get started on
they'll
that.
they'll fit your resolution. They'll fit your resolution, but the UI isn't scaled, obviously. But like games that were in like mid 2000s, like if your resolution's higher than the maximum resolution it supports, it doesn't. It just doesn't.
If the game was designed
it's
natively
really
for the
weird.
computer, it's great. If the game's ported over during that time period, forget about it. You're definitely getting like a subpar experience.
That's not true because there are a lot of games that are just made for PC that don't support a higher resolution.
Well, I mean,
whereas the older ones do.
Well,
Let's not get into this kind of conversation.
Yeah, sorry. I was just talking about like back then. I don't mean now, but you know, like, I mean, like, being a PC gamer just as much as I've been a console gamer for my life. Like, I know a fair bit about this, and there's definitely certain years where you want to be more of a console gamer. Some other years, and some other years, like, you want to be like more of a PC gamer. Like in this time period when this came out, I'm pretty sure when I saw the console version of this game was superior to the Windows version. Even though the Windows version looks nice, but anyway. My
other experience with the Windows version is watching a Russian guy stream it out.
Okay. Is there a point?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I wonder if anyone's playing this game on Twitch. And I found somebody, and there was this Russian guy, and I was like, oh, this looks good. And then, okay, I'm leaving. So that's my experience with the Windows version.
Well, this was this was your pick, George. Why'd you pick this game?
Because I wanted to beat it. I didn't beat it yet. But I'm close. This game gets very fucking difficult.
It does,
at the ending point, because it's fucking dumb.
You played this game back when it came out, then?
Yeah. So, okay. Hope you're sitting down, and I hope you're in a good mood because I'm gonna fucking ruin it. That's bad, but honestly, like, I got this game when my grandfather was still around, but he had, I think he had brain tumors, and he was in the hospital for a very long time, and he was not doing well. I think it just ended up being just cancer in general, and he was in the hospital for a very long time. So like, one time when we went to visit, my family was there, and then my sister like was like, hey, let's just go to Target or whatever. So we went to Target, and I saw this game, and I was like, oh, I want this, and she just bought it for me. So this is like a game that I got like around the time my grandfather was basically dying in a hospital. To like, I guess it was kind of a distraction. So like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah, you're not the only person to have a story like that. So
of course not. No. So like, yeah, I like this game. I never beat it as a kid. It was always really hard for me. It's still very hard for me now.
Yeah, I think maybe this would fit later. I was going to mention this later on the podcast, but since you brought it up, I think the difficulty, I think the difficulty scales in this game are pretty well balanced. Because the races, you have an option to play either easy, normal, or hard. You get rewards if you play it at a higher difficulty level, of course. But
that's not the problem I have.
Easy.
It just the way that the game plays it just pisses me off, honestly, because it doesn't just piss me off in general. It just pisses me off because like this is a game that like kind of was like in like when we were in like everyone was in a rough spot in my family and whatnot, and it just pisses me off because like this is a very frustrating game, and it's like I was like, oh yeah, this game's great, and then I went back to it and was like, yeah, this is good, and then like when I got further, I was like, this fucking game, god fucking damn it. So yeah, we really got sidetracked. Let's just finish up this information here. Developed by EA Black Box, which is no longer a developer anymore. God fucking damn it, EA. They were very good. They went on to do the Skate series stuff. up until I think or I might get my information wrong, but I know they definitely did Skate 2, and that was a very good fucking game. And the GBA port was developed by Pocketeers. I've never heard of them before. Obviously published by EA Games. But yeah, Need for Speed Underground. What's wrong with the fucking game? I'll let you know what's wrong with the fucking game. The physics and the fucking handling. Those are the two major problems. That's the difficulty of the game. Not the other racers. The two biggest parts of the difficulty of this game is the handling and the physics. I don't know if you've had these problems, Greg. I'm sure you have.
Not to the extent that you apparently are bitching about, but
okay. So here's the thing, right? If you go off a jump and it's big enough, and you're not like facing the right way, or you turn right as you jump off, good fucking luck, because you might land upside down, you might land sideways, you might land 180 degrees turned around. That fucks your race over, especially if it's a sprint race. That fucks your race up. Or if you're driving and then out of nowhere traffic comes and you fucking smash into it because you have no time to get around it, you're either going into the fucking air and landing on your back bumper and sitting on your back bumper until you manually reset yourself, or you fucking go 180 degrees, or you flip, or you rotate at 360 and you lose all your speed, and that fucks you over too. There's so many ways that this game fucks you over, on top of the handling, because all the cars turn really fucking wide. It's so loose. It's not tight at all. I wish I could say I love this game. I like this game still, but I'm very pissed off at how the game was made, because the physics are garbage and the handling isn't so great. You turn very wide. I honestly, when I play this game, I honestly feel like I'm driving a truck cab. Honestly. I'm not fucking lying to you. It doesn't help when you start getting when you start getting the parts when you go faster.
Yeah.
Like, that makes it even worse. Like, when you're racing with stock cars, it's fine, because it feels like they coded the game for the stock cars, and then they were like, what if we could put upgrades in these cars? And then you put the upgrades in the cars, and then you're fucking hitting all the walls. And it's not just me, even the fucking AI does it too. I don't know if you noticed that, Greg, but the AI hits the walls too sometimes.
I saw, yes.
So it's not just me.
I did see that.
Yes.
I actually kind of like that, because I thought it was like more like a realistic factor they put in the game. But
even the game can't play itself.
We probably should talk a little bit about the game basics for anybody out there not very familiar with the franchise.
So Need for Speed Underground is a racing game. What?
Oh, I was gonna say complete reboot of the series, because they went back to square one of this, because there were I think yeah, I think it was
oh, you know what they did, because this was the first one when they started doing upgrades and shit.
Right, yeah.
Because they had Hot Pursuit 2 and whatnot on PS2.
I think there were 6 Need for Speed games total before this, but
oh jeez,
yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. So you might be right.
So they went back to ground one basically with this, and so they kind of gave it to kind of like I said before, the legal cities, the city race theme to it. It's a generic city, but it looks a lot like New York, Los Angeles, I think. But
yeah, kind of. Probably more like L.A. because it's got the whole sewer area and whatnot.
So, they went big,
but yeah, this is you join an underground racing syndicate.
Yeah, there's a story to this game which I wasn't expecting. I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually
it's very minor.
Yeah,
but there's a story.
Yeah, it's
there.
basic plot, but still, it's more than I expected. It's more than what racing games have. So I mean, so you can either
at this time, yes, there are racing games that have more stories.
Now, yes, yeah, right. So
yeah, I'm looking at you, the crew. Although I was, the crew too. They have a private beta. Mm-hmm. Is it a private beta or is it an open? It's one of those.
Right.
They have it's a closed beta. I think it is. They have a closed beta going on.
Right.
The 31st.
Yeah.
And I think I might have an invite. I want to play that game. You haven't touched the first game, have you? The Crew by Ubisoft?
No.
It's a CarPG.
Interesting.
But your stats don't matter as much as you think. which is part of the problem with that.
Right. Interesting.
That's a conversation for another podcast, though.
Right.
That's just something to bring up, though. Like the crew's an alright game.
Yeah. So yeah, there's two main options of this game. You either can do the underground, which is actually like the actual like story,
which is the actual like story
right.
mode. Yeah.
And there's also like quick race you can do if you want to, where you get to just like practice on a race.
Yeah. The only thing is you don't really get much out of that.
No.
You still get your reputation, which is a system.
Yeah.
There's a reputation system, and what you get from reputation is, for the most part, you get like new vinyls and whatnot for your cars. But sometimes you might get new cars or something else from it as well.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. But then in underground mode, or I think just in quick race, if you use your underground mode car, I think you could do, I think, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I might be thinking of the second game or something. But the reputation system is not just a straight through thing. Like, you get modifiers for it as well, like later on when you start unlocking like new parts for cars, like not performance parts, but like aesthetic parts, like new bumpers and new, like, I don't know about the headlights. I forget if the headlights are something in this game. That might be just two. I don't know.
Right.
But things like new hoods and roof scoops and shit like that. Yeah. So the higher the level, the more reputation. The more you're gonna hit like the next milestone for reputation multiplier, because it goes by ones, but it all multiplies.
Exactly.
But if you can progress to each milestone. But if you're in, like let's say you're halfway through one, you're still only getting ×1. But once you hit that ×2, then you start getting ×2. It's not an in between thing. It's a binary thing. Is 2 on? No. Okay, you still get 1. It's kind of like that.
Right. Yeah. So.
Kind of the big point of this game, and I don't think they don't shout it out to you, but you definitely get that feeling, is like a lot of the game is about customizing your car.
Yeah. And
putting on different kinds of bumpers and whatnot. Although, funny enough, this is one of the games that have the least amount of customization options. I mean, that's not surprising because this is like the first game that did it.
Right.
In the Need for Speed series, at least. And this game is rough all around. It's not a garbage game, but it's not the best thing ever. There are definitely better Need for Speed games than this game. Just on the PlayStation 2, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, I think this game was probably a little bit more impressive and just wowing when it first came out, because all the reviews of this game were very, very positive.
I believe they're all, basically all of them are like glowing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the main way that you earned, the main way that you can get those extra parts and upgrades is by getting money.
Uh-oh, Greg, they're trying to get you.
Well, appropriate Need for Speed game, right?
Right. Although there are no cops in this game.
Yeah. Well, I was a bit surprised to see that, because the intro has a cop, but you don't see any cop cars actually like in the game itself, which is kind of surprising, but, well.
I think maybe the first Need for Speed that included, I don't think it was Underground 2. I don't remember cops being in Underground 2. I could be remembering that wrong. Right. But I think the first Need for Speed, I mean, there were games before this, the ones that are open world, right. Let me rephrase that. The open world Need for Speed games, I think the first one to have cops going after you was Most Wanted, maybe.
Which makes sense given the title.
Which I think is 2 games after this.
Yeah, right.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, so.
Because there was, I think, maybe not the first game, but maybe the second game. I know the third game, in total, in general, in the Need for Speed series, like Hot Pursuit or whatever, had cops, obviously, because it's a hot pursuit.
Right.
But, yeah, honestly, no cops in this game is very good, because I already have trouble with the physics and the traffic and the handling already. honestly, this is one of the worst controlling Need for Speed games, I believe. The other one would be the Need for Speed reboot, Need for Speed in 2015. It was released.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that one, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, it's not worth getting.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, so, yes, the main way that you, and this is the part I did like, the main way that you, there's two main ways to earn money in this game in order to upgrade your car and get the parts, and in theory...
2 ways?
What?
There's 2 ways?
Yeah, well, you earn money by finishing a race, which is dependent upon the difficulty level that you...
You earn money not by finishing races, by getting first in a race.
Right, yeah.
Because if you get second place or lower, you're just a piece of shit.
Correct.
That's how this game works.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
And then you also get money by doing style points, which is like, doing things like, like hang time,
No, you
slides.
don't. You get reputation for style points.
Oh, style points? Okay. Well, I thought it was like money, but...
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that would be crazy. I would have broken the game because, honestly, I'm at a point where I have a lot of money from doing the races and whatnot,
yeah.
and I have nothing to spend it on. Which is another problem because, honestly, you're not limited by the money. You're not.
Right.
You're limited by what you unlock because you have to unlock each thing, and that's by story progression.
Yes.
So, like, oh, you unlocked level 1 hoods, you unlocked level 2 roof scoops, you unlocked this and that. The whole game, it's not random or anything, and it's not by your reputation. It's by story progress. You unlock it is hard-coded to what you unlock, when and where. And I feel like that's kind of part of the problem because... what's the point of having money? Because you have all this fucking money and nothing to do with it. Because you can't own multiple cars, you can only own one car at a time.
Yeah.
And when you buy an upgrade, you even have that when you swap cars. So there's no point in the money. Because all you're doing is waiting for upgrades. There's nothing else you do with the money because even if it's like, oh, you finally unlocked like level 3 hoods. That's cool. They're only like 200 or 300 each. I guess you can go and try to buy everything, but there's no point because you're still going to have a mass amount of money. That's what I've seen in this game, honestly. Like, I have so much fucking money and I have nothing to do with it, basically. I could go and buy all the other upgrades or the customization options or whatever you want to call it, but there's no fucking point.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I agree with you on all that. I just didn't mind that
Maybe
so
it ties
much.
into the end, I really don't know.
Yeah. I already didn't mind that too much because I'm like, okay, I've got money, so that's cool. That means I can do what I want to do.
You could play like medium or hard at the beginning because it's easier, and then just go through the rest of the game on easy because you'll still have a shit ton of money.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So
that's kind of what I did.
I do like a style point system though. I think it's like pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other racing games have done that.
I'm sure there are others.
The PGR games had a kudos system, and when you did like drifting or drafting or stuff like that, you get kudo points, and I think that would actually help you unlock new cars and whatnot. PGR games are actually pretty good. Original Xbox and Xbox 360. I think there was 4 of them. Those are very cheap by today.
Right, of course.
For today.
Yeah.
So if anyone has an original Xbox or a 360, Project Gotham Racing is a very cool series. It does not play like this game at all, but still very good.
Yeah.
I think I have all of them, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, it's some good shit.
So I know the developers are going for here. They really wanted to have kind of a very Fast and Furious.
They wanted an edgy racer for the year 2003.
But they wanted kind of like a Fast and Furious type game. They wanted kind of
like it definitely feels like that.
I mean, so
the only thing is there's nobody like fucking you over or nobody secretly a cop or something as far as I know.
There is like one twist which you probably haven't seen yet because like I said, I didn't finish the game. I got a few hours into it, but I did check out the rest of the game on YouTube because I was curious, and there is like one nice twist like in the game about that. So I won't spoil that if you don't want me to. But yeah. So I know the developers are going.
You
for
die
here.
at the end.
Well, do you want me to tell you? Because I don't mind.
You get run over by a car. I mean, I don't think anyone really. I don't care.
Right.
I actually kind of want to know. So, I mean, we'll just put a spoiler alert here, I guess,
Right.
if you don't want to know the ending to a generic story.
Right, yeah. So,
Spoiler alert. Okay, go on.
So I don't know how far in the game you got. You have a...
I'm like, I want to say I might be like number 5 or 6 in like everything right now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, besides you, there's like 3 main characters in the game. There's like Eddie,
Right.
like who's the leader, like one of the other groups in the city.
He like owns the
yeah.
like drag racing or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's your there's your friend Samantha, who acts kind of like your friendly rival / helper at the start of the game. I love her sass. Like, she's very sarcastic.
I didn't see her as a rival. I don't think you race against her.
You do, yeah.
Oh, you do?
You do race against her, yeah.
Well,
so.
fuck me for not paying attention to that. No, please don't fuck me. Fuck me.
You actually, later on in the game, like, Eddie challenges you like in a race to beat both him and Samantha, and when you do it, Samantha wrecks her car trying to beat you, and then later on in the game, they give like a new car back. So so there's like a small bit of plot like about that.
Oh wow!
And then there's also your girlfriend Melissa, who toward the end of the game, after you give Samantha her car back to make amends, you do a final race with Eddie and beat him, and then finally the very last race in the game, there's a mysterious unknown racer shows up and challenges you to one final race. And when you win that race, turns out the driver was your girlfriend Melissa.
Oh, okay then.
So anyway, I was going to say, I know the developers are going for here, and I think for the most part they succeeded. There are problems with this game's control and physics and whatnot, like you said, George.
Yes.
I just don't have the same frustrations with them that you did. I mean, they're definitely there.
If I really wanted to, I could make a whole compilation of my streams where physics just went wrong for me.
Right.
One of them included me going so high up that I clipped through the world slightly, and then I fell down on my bumper and I was balancing on it. So that's one thing. Yeah.
That's pretty funny, actually.
It's ridiculously funny because it's just so fucking stupid.
Right.
Oh my god.
So, and so apparently the sequel to this game actually picks up right where this one left off like the same plot and everything. So that's kind of like pretty cool. But
I believe it does.
Yeah. So, anyway, so the controls take a bit to get used to. I mean, when you're playing the game, it's fine. There are the problems, like you said, with the physics and drifting and whatnot. But I mean, it's definitely frustrating. I just didn't have as much aggravation with it that you did, apparently, for whatever reason. So, but
when you get to where I am, it's pretty bad. And they went whole hog with sponsorship like in this game. I mean, there's all kinds of like officially licensed cars like in this game that you pick from, but from some like biggest companies out there like Nissan and Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen and whatnot. AutoZone sponsors this game, and some other like companies like in here also. So this is from the time period in which that kind of stuff is like pretty common. Yeah.
So there are several. I'm not very sure how to say this. There are several. Sometimes the win conditions for some of the races change a little bit.
Do they?
I'm not really sure how to say this. There are several. Maybe it's only with the free racing that you can pick these styles, but there are like certain ways that the races can end. There's a circuit race, there's a knockout mode race, there's a sprint race, the drifting race.
You're talking about that. Yeah, there's different types of races.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
like the drag racing race.
Lap knock. Yeah, there's lap knockout, which the last person to finish the lap gets knocked out
I like
of the
that
race.
mode. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's just circuit where you do
Yep.
a circuit race for
Yep.
X amount of laps. It's usually 2 or 3.
Yep, regular race. Yep.
Sometimes it's 5 or 6.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's like an endurance race. Like how quickly can you go insane? Go. Then there's, yeah, you said drag, where, you know, you're doing a drag race literally on the fucking street, which is a terrible idea because there's so many fucking cars out there that you crash into, or the train fucking rams you. I think that's my
I can't
favorite
tell you
part.
how many times I had to do split second decisions because I'm like, there's one car coming out here, and there's one car also coming out. One car coming up the other way, and you're like, "Oh crap!"
Oh my god, yeah. How was the emulation for the game? I was curious.
Pretty good. I mean, there were a few frame drops, but nothing like too bad.
That's kind of like the game on the PS2 lags quite a bit,
Yeah.
depending on where you are. Yeah,
Which is too bad because even like today's standards, the game still looks very pretty. It's a very nice looking game.
I mean, remember you're playing in an emulator. I don't
True,
know
yeah.
what settings you have.
But I looked at it
the
on
game
YouTube
looked
as well.
alright
also,
on
man.
PS2.
Right.
I'm playing through. I'm playing through Component, going out to a FrameMeister, spitting it out to 720p.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. That's why I looked on YouTube, like at all the
looks alright.
other versions of the game, and all 4 versions of the game, they look pretty good. I think they all look like pretty similar to one another. But yeah, even today, I think the game still looks like pretty good. You know, the graphics are very nice. The cars look impressive.
How did you do with the drifting? I'm the best at drifting in this game.
The drift, drifting was fun. Drifting I had a kind of hard time with, but I still find it like fun and challenging too. So, but my favorite is actually the sprint mode. We're just trying to you got to be pinpoint perfect in those races to be able to win it, and that's where if
you fuck up,
yeah.
you're fucked.
Right.
For the most part.
Yep, but
Yeah.
the challenge that I really enjoy.
The AI does not rubber band, thank God. So if
No.
you're far ahead enough,
By the way, as a
don't
side
have-
note,
you don't-
I don't know. I don't know if real underground racers do this, but I always got scared at the start of every race because that starting car girl was right in between the 2 cars taking off like 100 miles an hour. It's like, how are you not getting killed?
the cars don't aim for her. That's how that works.
But the back end still kind of drift a little bit. It's like, almost like Clipper because of the.
They're spaced out far enough.
I guess it always just like really close.
And no, Greg, not all underground racers have a lady that flags you off.
I know. But I'm just saying, like right between the middle of 2 cars. That just seems like a death wish to me. But maybe that's. But maybe
How
that's
about
just me.
the two women in between the cars?
Oh yeah, forget about that.
I'm gonna murder you and your friend.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm assuming these races are taking place at like 3 o'clock in the morning because of the lack of traffic that's on the traffic that's on the streets. But
I mean, it's probably between midnight to maybe like 3,
sure,
something like that.
But
Yeah.
But the night city does look very cool. I mean, the city's like very gorgeous looking to look at. I really like all the detail and everything. The cities and whatnot. It looks like a real city, like in that like in that regard. So
Actually, is there? For some reason, I'm remembering that you can race in daytime.
I think
Is
the
that wrong?
practice races you could race in daytime. I
I don't remember now.
I did spend a lot of time in that mode, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
But
Well, anyway, it's a racing game. Honestly, I don't know if there's too much more we can talk about it. I'll be honest.
was the
with you.
music?
Yeah, there's music. It's licensed, or
Yeah.
they actually got people to make music. It's both of those.
Yeah.
There are a few tracks that literally talk about EA games and whatnot, so you know that it's made for the game. But then there's, well, I mean, when you start up the game, you got that one song.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music's fine. I mean, the music, the songs fit the game very well. I thought at least because
Some of them do,
Yeah.
not all of them.
like
I wish it was like Midnight Club 3.
Oh, okay,
where
yeah.
where there were different genres, and the one that was the most fitting was the drum and bass. also like the best to listen to for that game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how many races there. So I don't know how many races there are total in this game because there are some repeating a little bit. Just looking at this, like
I'm still unlocking tracks.
Yeah,
there is a good amount, but the thing is, the way that this game was made was they were like, okay, we're gonna make a small city.
Yeah,
and
Olympic
then
City.
what they did was they were like, okay, for this race we're gonna block this off because you'll pass by certain areas and you'll be like, oh hey, this is like Chinatown or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but it's blocked off because in this race we're not going around that way. So it's that.
Yeah, which makes
honestly,
sense. They only have
I don't know about making an open world. It would be too small for that. But like it's a world that's connected because all the races are connected to one another because it's just a small city that they built, and
which I understand.
Like
why
I
they do
said,
that.
each race is they block off certain areas.
Right. You know, like
Yeah.
limited assets, limited budgets. Like like we're trying to like reuse what we can here. So I understand.
Well, I mean, also like the whole open world thing wasn't it still wasn't that big.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like games that were doing it were like Grand Theft Autos and games that were trying to kind of be like Grand Theft Auto.
Right. Yeah.
So it isn't like what it is now, where you have a racing game, open world. You have a like a action shooter type of deal. Oh, open world. And I'm not shitting on open worlds. Like, I mean, I feel like open worlds are very important because if we didn't have open worlds for these games, we would just have boring linear games, or we would have menus or something. And that's not that great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the first
open worlds are good. It's just like it's just because it's kind of just become a standard now.
Yeah, the first really big open world game I remember playing was Morrowind. From 2000.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, 2001. That game just blew me away because it's like the amount of stuff you can do in that game is just like super impressive. But
what's even better is that that's not even the whole fucking island of Morrowind. They just couldn't fit it on the game for the time.
Yep.
There's actually so here's the thing. Somebody actually took somebody actually went to the map of Morrowind, like a real map that was actually made, right? Like by Bethesda or whatever.
Right.
And they modded, and I think they're still working on it. They modded Morrowind to add all that land back, or not add it back, but add it to the game to have the whole island of Morrowind. And it's a massive project. It's not done yet, but a good amount of it is done.
Oh yeah, I mean like
it takes some. You gotta mod some stuff. It's weird.
Right.
Like it's not like it's not like one of those things where you just drop in the mods folder. You gotta tweak some game files or something, but it's pretty cool. I haven't played around with that, but I was looking at it on the Morrowind Nexus, and it's like, that's fucking sweet.
Yeah, the amount of mod support and additions that game's gotten over the years is just like scary.
Too bad this didn't come out for PS2. I mean, I understand it wasn't really possible to do it because it was so big.
Oh, what, Morrowind?
But like,
yeah.
Yeah, if it was released on PS2, I would
the Xbox
fucking
version
love
didn't
to
come
cover
out
that.
until like a good year afterwards, I think. I think it took a year for the game to come out on the console.
That may be true. I'm not sure, but yeah, the Xbox has more power, so.
Yeah.
I would love to do a podcast at some point to cover that game, but not this one because it was never released on the PS2.
Yeah, we can't do. Yeah, I don't think we can do Oblivion either, for that matter, because I don't think Oblivion came out.
Oblivion was on PS3, so if we want
to,
if we want to shoehorn the PS3 into this podcast, I mean, it is PlayStation Power. We already shoehorned the PSP. We might as well just go balls deep, right?
Oh, by the way, speaking about that, Need for Speed Underground.
Speaking of balls deep,
no, I meant ports.
Okay.
Need for Speed Underground on the Xbox is unfortunately not compatible with the 360. Like with the it's one of the games that didn't get modded over for support. So it's an Xbox only game. But anyway, I don't know how many races this game has altogether. The playthroughs online all seem to average around 7.5 hours. So it looks like if you're a good player, that's how long the game would take you. So I mean, there's some meat to this game.
Okay.
So I mean, so it's not like a.
There has to be some meat to this
Yeah.
game. It's a PlayStation 2 game released. I don't know where released came from.
Well, you say
released
that.
in 2003. But hold on, because let's be honest here. If it did not have meat, people would say there's not much to this game and give it a poor rating. Because games in this era had to be big.
Right.
And they have to be big now. So you can't sell a game for full price anymore and be like, oh, there's only like half an hour of content in it, like, because people would just refund it or they wouldn't buy it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is only 2 hours of gameplay. Like, then you should not be charging. I think it was $50 for PS2 games when they came out.
Yeah.
Like $50 for a game that doesn't have much meat to it. You know what I mean? Whereas like when something like fucking Mercenaries came out, it's like, holy shit. You know? Right. There are those games that are smaller on the PS2, but they were not $50 when they came out.
True.
As far as I remember that.
Yeah.
They were like 30 or whatever. Now it's different. Like, even if a game is that small, unless it's an indie game or whatever, if it's being released by like a first party publisher and it's a small game, they'll still charge you like $60. I've seen that for a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
They did that for Halo 3 ODST, which was not a game as big as Halo 3, and Microsoft was like, oh, charge $60 for it because we're publishing it, fuck you. And then they were like, that's not fair, it should be $30. But, you know, Bungie couldn't do that because Microsoft was the publisher and they were in control, so they were like, you know what, we'll release the Halo 3 multiplayer disc with it along, so, you know, you get more value out of it and whatnot.
Well, speaking about multiplayer, I did see this game had an online mode. I'm not really sure what that was for.
That's for racing online.
Yeah, but could you do race against somebody else in the same race, or how did that work? Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's how games work online. This might be very new to this era. I mean,
I think it is, yeah.
I mean, online play was a thing for the Saturn and even the fucking Genesis or whatever the fuck, right?
Sure.
But this is when online play really started coming in full force. When we cover games in the future, we'll see a lot of them. I think even some of them before we covered, I'm not 100% sure on that, but games in the future that we cover, we will start seeing more and more games that will have the whole online feature. And you'll see on the box, if you own a game that has online, it'll have a like custom logo thing or whatever. I think Sony made it or whatever, that will say like online play. And you used to be able to connect to a thing called PlayStation Network. Sounds familiar. And you would be able to sign up and play online, unless it was an EA game. That's different. If it was an EA game, you had to sign up through EA,
right? To
connect, because EA always had their own servers. They have to have their own servers. They still do, and they shut down games that are like a year old. That's not a joke. That's kind of true. But yeah. So this had online. It was not asynchronous. How would an asynchronous race work? That would be weird. No, it's race together at the same time. I wonder if anyone has any footage of that.
Yeah, I could.
I actually really want to see the. I wonder. I'm sure you're still able to play the PC version online somehow. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You might not be able to do it through like EA, through internet, like in a way through like EA servers or whatever. Probably connected to that, but I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, this game was very popular when it came out. It reviewed very well. Apparently altogether, all the versions of the game sold over worldwide sold over 50 million copies. And it was good enough to spawn a sequel, which from what I understand, fixed some of the weak spots that this game had. So it's probably like even better than this one is.
Yeah, you could still race people through LAN if you're playing on PC.
Cool.
Yeah. Which, you know, if you want to race with somebody online, you just do IP tunneling and fucking do that shit. Though.
Right, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm curious to check out the sequel now because of how
that one's an open world.
Yeah.
It's still kind of rough around the edges, but it isn't as bad. They added a bunch of shit in there too. So, and also, this was probably the first like big game that like was like, hey, we're not just tuner cars, we're also like SUVs and shit. So I think you could get like a Range Rover or something in that game as well, or like a Hummer. I think you could get like a Hummer or something like that. So yeah, that game isn't just about tuner cars, which is cool. That kind of, I mean, it was a little delayed, but it kind of started something.
Right.
Shut the fuck up! Fucking neighbor's dog. I have the window open because it's fucking almost 80 degrees in here. I'm not editing this out of the podcast. Me yelling at a fucking dog to shut the fuck up is probably the highlight. I don't know if you hear it.
A little bit. It's not that bad.
Anyway, Need for Speed Underground. I don't think there's really much more to say about this game.
Yeah, I think for what it is, it's fine. I mean, it's a good fast racing, drag style racing game. For what it tries to do, I think it's fine. I mean,
yeah, I feel like it tries to do a lot, and I mean, it still kind of does that a lot well, but like there's a lot of things that still need tweaking, and I mean, of course, this is kind of like the first game of the series type of deal. Not like the first game of the series, but like the first game that tried doing this in the series.
Yeah.
So there's obviously going to have some problems. There's probably going to be some problems. I want to try that sentence again. I don't know what I just said. Oh my god. Anyway.
So yeah.
I suggest checking it out, whether through emulation or if you have a PS2 and you want to buy, or a PS3 that plays PS2 games and you want to buy it, maybe. But honestly, it's interesting to look back on it.
Oh yeah.
But it's nothing super special.
Yeah.
In this era.
Yeah, I was actually looking this up right now because I was curious, and I had forgotten about this. This franchise has been going on for longer than I realized. I said before I played the first game of the franchise. I couldn't remember where I played it at though. I had this. I had this game in the short time. I had this game in the short time back in the 2000s when I had a 3DO because. That's where this franchise started at, 1994.
I have 2 copies of that game for the 3DO.
Yeah, that's what it started at. So
yeah,
there have been 23.
Well, it started on PC and then it was ported to 3DO, I believe.
Actually, 3DO was first. Then it came out.
Was it?
Yeah.
You know, you might be right.
Then it came out on DOS, Saturn, and PS1 as well. So, but yeah,
that's right. It did come out for PlayStation, didn't it?
There have been 23 games in the franchise over the years. So they have milked the shit out of this.
Oh yeah.
The newest game, Need for Speed Edge, is coming out next year for Windows by EA Spearhead. It's going to be a free-to-play MMO racing game.
Oh wow, because they fucking took down oh god, what was it called? Oh, I think it was just called Need for Speed Online.
Yep.
They fucking took that down eventually.
Right.
Which was sad because it was kind of a cool game. So I actually want to see how Edge goes.
And I forgot.
You're right. The first game was on 3DO.
Yeah. And speaking about movies, like I said before,
there was a Need for Speed movie. I heard it was shit.
I forgot about that.
I heard it was fucking shit.
2014, so fairly recent. But
yeah. Oh my god, 2014 was 4 years ago, dude. Where's time going? Come back, please. No.
How do you think I feel?
By the time I know it, I'm gonna be a fucking 50-year-old man. I remember playing. Yeah, that's what 50-year-old men sound like. I remember playing the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Like, you know, every time somebody says on Facebook, "Oh, this game came out 20 years ago," I'm like, holy fuck, I'm old. But
I mean, you got 10 years until you're in your 50s.
Yeah, I know.
Just reminding you.
Right. So, but
just reminding you.
Yeah. So, but I do think, however, that this is probably one of the. I've only played a couple games of the franchise, but this game, Underground, is one of the most highly rated games of the franchise. So obviously, it does have a lot of fans.
You certainly are going to be playing more Need for Speed games because there are a bunch on PlayStation and PlayStation 2. So
Oh yeah, I see them.
get your butthole ready
Yep.
and sit on the gear stick. I don't know
Yep.
where I was going with that.
PS1, Need for Speed 1, 2, 3, High Stakes, and Porsche Unleashed.
Yep.
And then for PS2, oh god, Hot Pursuit 2, Underground 2,
have that.
Most Wanted, Carbon, Pro Street, like Undercover.
Yeah, so funny. So EA was doing the thing that a few other publishers were doing, where even though the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were out, they were still porting games to PS2.
Yep.
So that list goes for quite a bit. So we will actually be covering some decently modern Need for Speed games.
Oh yeah, sure. But,
Decently modern in terms of comparing it to 2018.
right, of course. Yeah, so...
I actually started playing Pro Street on 360 like a month ago. So yeah, that's an interesting game. When we get to that, we will have a huge conversation about
Right.
Need for Speed.
There was actually, yeah, I forgot how long EA supported...
What was the last Need for Speed game on PS2? Do you have a list of that?
Yep, I do.
Okay, what was the last one?
Undercover, 2008.
Oh shit! Wow, that's pretty long.
Yeah, a lot of interesting systems. A lot of interesting systems. The systems that game came out on: PS2, PS3, Wii, Xbox 360, mobile, DS, PSP, Windows Mobile, and iOS.
Those Wii versions of Need for Speed are garbage because they use the motion controls.
I'm not surprised. So, yeah, a lot
we have a copy of Carbon on Wii, and it's like, turn the Wii remote to the left to turn left, and I'm like, fuck yourself in the ass with the Wii remote.
Yeah. A lot of developers over the years too. This has changed hands numerous times.
Oh yeah, currently Ghost is doing the Need for Speed games.
Well, EA Spirit's doing the new one, but yeah, Ghost.
Yeah, but that's an MMO. Of
Right.
course, you're going to get a different development team to do that.
Yeah, Ghost did the last two, the Need for Speed reboot and then this Payback.
Payback's all right. I have it. It's got a weird loot system type of deal for car parts.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's still a pretty cool game. Anyway, I think that's all we have to say about this game, huh?
Yeah, I think so. So I think in most regards, this game holds up pretty well today. I mean, like, you're racing fan.
It kind of does.
Yeah. Like you're racing fans, definitely worth checking out.
One of the bigger things that's definitely going to tell you that it's an older game is the fucking physics.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. But anyway, prices with a Z, because we're cool. I've seen this sold between 1 cent
God.
and these prices are for inbox to $9.25. I've seen sealed copies go all the way up to $52. That's like almost like Walmart pricing right there.
Yeah.
Need for Speed Underground came out in 2003. It's 2018. $30. Like, what are you fucking talking about, Walmart?
Considering the fact this game got re-released as part of the greatest hits selection for all three consoles, that's a bit surprising.
Yeah, it's really interesting, you know. But yeah, it's for that much. Anyway, might as well start closing up the podcast here.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, because I said so, I guess. Anyway, thanks for listening. I like stuff. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, I want to thank the people who are backing us on Patreon. Thanks to David, Michael, also my friend Matt, who does the One Word Go show. He actually pledged with his own Patreon for the show.
Cool.
For his show. So, that's Matt with 1 T. Matt over in Canada. And Lowry, thank you everyone for backing us on Patreon. If you'd like to back us on Patreon, you won't go empty-handed. You'll definitely get something back. Anyone who pledges $1 or anything will get early access to podcast episodes And they'll also get behind-the-scenes access where we have recordings of either it's us playing the games together, or we're just talking before or after the podcast. Got some cool stuff there, some interesting conversations for the most part. But we also have other things. We definitely have some good rewards. And, hope to see on the Patreon. That would be patreon.com/theboxfort, patreon.com/theboxfort. We have a Facebook group. You can find us just by looking up PlayStation Power. Let's see. We also have a YouTube. Look up PlayStation Power. You could find some gameplay videos of the games that we covered. Not all of them. Some of them are hard to get. Like, I was trying to do Parappa. Could not fucking do it because I don't have the game, and I tried emulating it, and it was not running the best on the emulator. So maybe I'll buy a copy of that just to do the recording. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's see. We have a Discord. If you'd like to hop in there and talk to us about whatever, that'd be really cool. The Discord link is in the description for this episode. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at playstationpower@theboxfort.net. That is playstationpower@theboxfort.net. If you want to find my stuff, you could go on YouTube and look up Mr. Chief, MISTURCHEEF. Basically, that stuff is just stream archives from Twitch now, so if you want to follow me on Twitch and watch me play some PS2 games sometimes, or just whatever, it's the same name, Mr. Chief, so twitch.tv/Mr. Chief. Or if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Mr. Chief, at MISTURCHEEF, just to spell that out again. Greg, where can we find you?
Well, we have a Facebook page where you can always leave us comments, questions, etc., which is always appreciated. You can also email me directly if you want to use the email that George and I use the other podcast that we do together, the Super NES podcast. So that email is the SNESpodcast@yahoo.com. And also check us out on iTunes and give us a review on there, like you're inclined.
Yes.
Hopefully 5 stars, but I'm not going to force you.
Hopefully 5.5 stars. Am I right? Yeah, so we do SNES Podcast. That's another podcast we do, where we cover SNES games, obviously. I also do Master System Masterpieces, where we cover Master System games. And I think that's about it.
Right.
Vroom vroom, I'm a car. Get out of the way, motherfucker. I'm gonna run you over.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.